it was getting the bike right up to about there, and so for me to try and haul the bike out before the bike actually went completely under.
Shop Brew.
What's going on YouTube? Leon here. So today is the 3rd of April 2021, Easter weekend. I thought I'd have a quick take a quick spin on the bike. So once again out in County Clare today, absolutely gorgeous day today. So I'm near Lough Ea in County Clare. Just had a nice little trip coming up here. I actually forgot to push the record button on the way up, so I missed a good section. So I'm just gonna make my way back slow and steady. Just stopped off here for a quick bite to eat. As you can see, absolutely gorgeous view, nice and clear day today. So thanks for coming along with me today. As I said, haven't really been doing much in particular, just seeing that we've been in constant lockdown since basically the 26th of December, so I haven't really been able to get out and about much. I think we're probably at this point in time the country who's been in lockdown the longest anywhere in the world, which is basically over 4 months, which is absolutely insane. So but not to get too political and all bogged down and everything, as I said, nice day today, so I decided to come out and stretch the legs a little bit, do a bit of a motovlog. So thanks for joining me on the ride today. I hope you like this video, get to see a bit of my part of the world. If you do like this video, please obviously like, share and subscribe to the channel. I'll try once, in sort of 2 or 3 weeks, once the lockdown sort of officially ends or starts to ease off a little bit in terms of restrictions, I'll hopefully be able to post a few more videos, get out and about a bit more, do a few more things. So we'll see how this goes. Nice and muddy, and yes, I actually made it through here. Evidence. Well guys, I actually got stuck there and once again didn't record it. It took me probably about an hour to get out of the muck. I'll show an after of my bike afterwards. And I had 2 good Samaritans come across me and gave me a hand. So otherwise I would have been pretty much stuck there for another at least an hour or 2 trying to get the bike out of it. So what happened is in some of the other footage that I showed there, trying to go through the mud section, I tried to bypass that and then try to use a different section to go through, and the next minute the bike just went straight into the bog, and it was literally up to about there in muck. So trying to wiggle it out and trying to get it to somewhat of a area where it was relatively dry, so I can get the bike to get some grip and get going. So as I said, it was a long slog just to get it out to a certain area, and then I was absolutely knackered. Unfortunately enough, 2 other guys came across me and they gave me a quick hand just to sort of turn the bike around to a bit of dry land, and I could get it out from there. So that was a long slog. If by any chance of those 2 lads, if they ever see this footage, just want to say thank you so much for your help. As I said, otherwise it would have taken me another hour or 2 at least to get out from there. Coming up to some of my favorite spots in County Clare, a little town called Clare. See the lovely lake out here as well. See a couple of lads fishing here as well. Probably be the best thing there is have a couple of pints while you're sitting out chilling and doing a bit of fishing. See, the guys are well equipped. I reckon what I'm going to do, I'm going to head into Flagmount here quickly, grab a cup of coffee, maybe a candy bar or something, just to give me a bit of a spike in the energy, seeing that I'm pretty tapped. Hello. Sorry, I've got earplugs in, so I can't really hear you. I think it might have been that engine's over there. The north end, it seems pretty locked. If I keep going down this path, I'm sure it's not going to take me back to that first section. I actually think it definitely was that one. Going to make a quick pit stop over here. Apologies guys, I only realized now that there was a blob of muck on my camera lens, so I'm hoping I'll have to see once again home if that footage is actually going to be usable. But as I said, just to give a quick run around, yeah, as you can see the bike is pretty wrecked. Pretty dirty from going through all the bugs. And yeah, look, I know my videography skills pretty much suck. I haven't done this in such a long time now that you get a bit rusty, so you sort of tend to forget to press the play or the record button, and then you do something pretty cool and you go, ah, damn it, I forgot to get the footage of that. And the same with me getting stuck there, because you're so sort of caught in the moment. You're not really thinking, as I said, especially when you're doing your activity and you sort of forget to record it while you're there, because you're like, sorry. As I said, same thing when I was stuck into the bug section there. It was getting the bike right up to about there, and so for me to try and haul the bike out before the bike actually went completely under, so I was so focused on that, I completely forgot to sort of record that. And as I said, fortunately enough, those lads were there to give me a hand just to lift the bike out and trying to pull it out to a section where at least I could get some bit of grip with the tires, and then sort of ride it out from there. Because the one thing I also did, as soon as the bike sank in, sort of nosedive into the really deep section there, and obviously with the weight of the bike, it just all of a sudden just like completely dunked in it. And the more weight there is, obviously the quicker it keeps sinking in. So then I had to try and get the bike out as best as I could. And then every time if I try to pull the bike out to a certain extent, the freaking kickstand would drop down and then it would dig into it even further. So then I had to sort of tip it over to one side to try and at least prevent the bike from sinking in further with the weight. And then but then the kickstand would dig into it, and then I had to try and tip it out and wedge it out to the other side so I can flip the kickstand up and try and drag the bike out again. It was an absolute nightmare to try and do that. And then yeah, as I said, I got to a certain point where at least I got the bike sort of relatively halfway around, and then luckily enough those two lads gave me a hand just to pull it around a little bit, and then sort of lift the bike up so I can get some bit of traction and get out of there. So once again to those two lads, thanks so much for saving my butt today. Any comments or suggestions? If anyone would like to have a bit more information in terms of, you know, different spots that they can go to. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of access to public land or free to roam land, as they say, apart from sort of these forestry sections known as quilcher properties. So generally we sort of try and find all these little back alleys and roadways to try and go to. It would also be nice to, if there are other people in Ireland that actually are into the outdoor lifestyle or off-roading motorcycles, it would be nice to sort of meet up with you guys as well, because in my county in particular there aren't too many lads that are into the off-road motorbiking stuff. So and we generally stick to the same stuff that I did pretty much today. So if there's any other guys in other parts of the country, it would be nice to meet up with you lads and maybe sort of, you know, swap a few trails, and, you know, every once in a while meet up with you guys and see other parts of the country, and maybe showcase that on my video channel as well. And then hopefully get some comments on, let's say, even if there's guys across from the UK, if they're coming over to Ireland, if they want to do a bit of touring, you know, it would be nice to have like a little community just giving each other a bit of feedback and say, hey, listen, you know, maybe go have a look at this area here, or, you know, try a few spots there if you can manage that. Anyway guys, as I said, I'm gonna do maybe a small bit of a time lapse or jump cuts if I see anything pretty interesting from here on in. If you've made it so far in the video, if the video has come out, I'd like to thank you for watching. And once again, please like and share and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of the video. As always, Shot Brew, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Dear. Oh dear. At least this is way easier than the boggy sections. And definitely more suitable for my skill level as opposed to the really wet, mucky stuff, especially with a big heavy bike like this. And yes, I know, I just need to up my skill levels. But it's pretty tough to increase skill levels when you can't get out on the bike because of all the restrictions. So as I was saying, for today, that's pretty much what I was hoping for, is just nice chill ride like this. However, I had to choose the most difficult one to start off with. But anyway, this is a nice way to end today. Not that I mind that. It's at least a little bit more time on the off-road stuff. Try to get the bike legs again as opposed to sea legs. And a lot of people have asked me, so why did I go for the KTM 690 and not something smaller and lighter? Well, the main reason was, I think I did mention in a previous couple of videos, and especially like gear review stuff, myself and a few friends were planning a trip doing part of the Trans-Euro trails, and that was scheduled for May in 2020. We pretty much had the trip planned well in advance. We were busy getting gear together. I got the bike, slowly started saving up, getting a few different pieces of kit and gear, travel bags, and you know, the usual bits and bobs. Installed, you know, stuff for the bike in particular for this trip, because the parts of Spain that we were going to do were pretty much, how can I say, supposed to be similar to this, so nothing too technical, but pretty much manageable for my skill level from what we gathered in terms of the reconnaissance and the reviews on these trails of guys doing it before. So the whole idea was to spend sort of 2 weeks heading into Spain, doing like a bit of overlanding, a bit of camping in between sections, and then sort of just, you know, exploring off-road. So that was the whole point of this bike in particular, because, you know, there were well, we had to plan 1 or 2 days where we would have spent a good bit of time on highways getting from, so we had this plan to go from, let's say, Bilbao all the way down to Malaga, so covering sort of almost 200 k's a day type of thing. But then 1 or 2, especially where we would have had the bike shipped from and landed in Bilbao, it would have taken us effectively a day, well, half a day, to try and get the bikes from there to the first set of trails. And not only that, then we you know, we had to sort of take into account that if in case something might have happened to either, you know, anyone on the bikes, if there was like a technical challenge, or if there was, you know, a breakdown or anything like that, we would have pretty much done the Top Gear one, where every man for himself, and then, you know, we sort of had to account for guys maybe falling behind, and then have to take different parts of highways to try and catch up to the rest of the team, or then at least if it was a major technical issue, be relatively close to a big enough town where you could then arrange for, you know, someone hauling the bike over to the next shipping location, you know, where they would have collected the bikes in Malaga, and then sort of taken it from there to, you know, ship it back back to Ireland. So there were quite a few things that we had to sort of take into consideration, and hence that's why I went with this one, because it would have been the best of both worlds. It's for me sort of not, you know, how can I say, not that I'm the best skill in terms of off-roading and stuff like that, so it would have been a bit more forgiving for me in that sense. But then also, you know, I wouldn't be, especially when it comes to technical stuff, maintenance wise on the bike, etc, etc. So, you know, there were quite a few considerations, and that's why I decided on this one. I was for a very long time trying to find a WR250R, the dual sport model, but they're so scarce. And at the time, so, you know, after a while we were under a bit of pressure, so hence I had to say look for something. So I went to this, and I must say I'm not regretting it. It's just obviously it's a bit more of a challenge, so something that I need to, as I was saying, need to spend more time on the bike, and just build up a bit more skill. Say I'm really happy with the bike in particular. Hasn't really given me any technical problems in particular. It's just a case of there is a lot to take into consideration. Other lads there who are into, especially the KTM 690. Look, more deer. If there are more guys who actually ride 690s, it would be nice to hear from you guys as well, in terms of what you found best in terms of kit for the bike, tires, different types of conditions. As I was saying, you know, guys going off-road, what type of tires do you guys recommend is best, especially, as I said, in my country it's more wet conditions, so we're actually just very fortunate today. It's a nice day. I think they were saying on Monday it's supposed to be snowing here again, so pretty miserable. So once again, it's one of those cases where if you have an opportunity to get out on a bike here in Ireland, you have to make the most of it. But then, yeah, there's one or two other guys that I follow on YouTube as well. Shout out to John Howerton. He's been doing a lot of, like, I mean, his skill level is way beyond mine. But I think he's also into the 690. But then again, he does a heck of a lot of enduro stuff. So and I think he's sort of gotten into the electric bikes now as well. So shout out to John. How's the break? Okay, let's see. Hopefully. Because to be honest, I wasn't really in the mood to go fishing the back out of a ravine. If I had to go in there, I feel I'm pretty knackered now. Then again, I was thinking I'm relatively fit. In terms of cardio wise, I probably am, but I'll tell you what, just trying to pick a bike up out of, I mean, it's one thing to try and lift it up, that's fine, but I mean, trying to lift it up if it's stuck into boggy section, it's just absolutely, it's insane.